Is it visible, Shreya?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Hi everyone, good morning. Welcome to Salesforce Developer Group Ajmer. Let me first introduce myself. I am Monica Ramchandani. I'm a senior Salesforce developer, a community group leader for Ajmer. I'm a founder of sfdcgirl.com blog where I share content about Salesforce flows and how you can take benefit of it. And I'm also a content writer as SFDC Girl YouTube channel. These are my social media handles. If you want to connect with me anytime, you can ping me on any of these sessions, any of these handles, and then we can chit chat over there. For today's session, we are going to talk about AgentForce enhancements and advancement. We are going to talk about and deep dive into AgentForce and its features and how we can take benefits of it and make our AgentForce more powerful and efficient for the service teams. And to talk about it, we have none other than Shreeya Rashinkar, our speaker for today. She's a global head Salesforce Telecom sales. She's also a Dreamforce speaker. She's a marketing champion, a community speaker, and a blogger as well. She's also a Salesforce industries specialist. Please help me welcome Shreya Rashinkar for today. Thank you, Shreya, for joining us.
Thank you so much, Monica. I'll just start the video. Let me know if you all are able to see me as well.
Shreya, from now on, you can share your screen and go ahead.
Sure. Okay. I think the camera. What's happening? Just a minute.
Are you able to share?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Just a second.
Okay, okay.
Might have to refresh this.
Okay, I think she'll be joining again. For everyone who has joined, stay tuned till the end. We have a very exciting announcement to make. Um, let's just wait for Shreya to join and then we can start our session. If any one of you has any questions about AgentForce, how you can start learning, and whatever doubts you have, Shreya is the right person to ask. So just pin your questions in the chat and we'll be taking every question that we see here. Can you present now, Shreya? Are you able to?
Yes. Are you able to all hear me properly?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay. And thank you so much for joining in. I think obviously none of the calls are complete without any initial glitches, right? So
That's
we
true.
have all experienced all this.
That's true.
So we are kind of prone to it. Okay. So thank you so much all for joining, and thank you Monica for having me on this amazing initiatives that you have been taking from, I think from January is where you started
Yes,
resuming these things, right?
yes.
So all the very best for the developer group Ajmer, and I'm
Thank you.
sure you will be doing great. And thank you so much all for joining. I know it's a Women's Day, but obviously and I always say that with the trailhead, with the Salesforce community that we have seen, the kind of resources that we all have, I think we all have got enough and equal opportunities to grow
Yeah.
and learn and experience different things in our career. So, with that context, wishing you all a very happy Women's Day and a very happy learning time. So, I'll get started. Let me know once you see my screen.
Mhm.
And obviously, if there are any questions that you would want to ask, either you can stop me, or Monica, you just let us know how you want to take up the questions, maybe
I've
towards
already
end.
asked them to put it in the chat and then we
Great.
can take it maybe after like we end the session or maybe in
Sure.
between. We'll see.
Sure. Okay. Sounds good. Oops. Why is it showing it this way?
I
Are
think
you
yes.
able to see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Nice. So, just to get an idea of what roles you all are in, maybe if you can just put it into the chat group over here, that will be helpful. Uh,
Everyone, can you put in the chat your job roles and what are you at in your career? Are you learning? Are you a fresher or senior?
or maybe you could even put us some details around where you are in your AI journey, rather,
Hmm.
just to be very specific.
That will also work. Okay, so we have answers coming in.
Great.
Vidyashi is Salesforce developer. Then we have Salesforce developers here.
Awesome. That's really nice. So that's the right audience
Yes.
for this particular advancement session that I wanted to do. Uh, Again, if you can just put in saying that whether on the AI journey you are a beginner or
Hmm.
an intermediate or you are already working on that, that will be really helpful as well. Because I know there are many kind of tools that are coming on with the Salesforce AI, and I'm very sure that some of those you might have tried. If you have not, then obviously we can discuss the benefits of those. Okay. So, have we got the details, Monica? Can I proceed?
Yes, I mean, I can see mixed answers like AI beginner, I'm
Great.
a fresher, or a Salesforce developer.
Great. Okay. So, I'll try to, fine tune my talk based on probably your
Yeah,
interests. What I'll do is I'll try to give a little bit of context of what we are going to cover today, and what is happening around Salesforce
sure,
AI as a
sure.
whole, right? The second thing would be how you could use Salesforce AI and capabilities into the different job roles that you are in. And ultimately, what are the new advancements coming up as part of the Salesforce AI? So now, this is the high level agenda that I'm going to talk through. Obviously, feel free to put in your questions, or if you think that you already are aware of this, maybe we can skip that, right? Monica can let me know, and then we can just skip accordingly. So now, the areas that I'll be covering today are AI evolution, the differences. I think this is a very important topic, differences between a chatbot, a copilot, and an agent force. And then how can different user groups benefit with AI? What I'll try to also include is not just the user groups from a user perspective, but from your own roles perspective as well. I'll try to add that as well. And then what is new on agent force? So, with that context, I think this is one of my favorite depictions of what Salesforce has been doing on AI. right? If you see this wave, obviously we all know that we are in wave 3, and now is the time for autonomous operations and agent force and all, right? But then what does that mean, how the journey has been? So when we speak about the wave 1, which was the predictive AI, so now I am sure that you all would have heard of the initial term of chatbots, the initial term of Einstein AI, right? Within the Salesforce ecosystem, the initial term of Einstein lead prediction, opportunity prediction, calculation, right? All of these, and even the Einstein discovery, if you would have heard of. So all of these things came back in around 2016, 17, 18 time frame. That is where was the time when we actually did a predictive capability on AI, and we didn't know at that time that it was the enterprise AI that we are talking about, right? Only since last 2 years is where actually Salesforce has Salesforce generative AI has really picked up steam, right? With the AI came capability of predicting from a particular set of data. So that's the major difference between a predictive and a generative AI. The generative AI is not dependent on what you have, like a preset kind of a data. It actually works through the LLMs, right? So I know that there are few freshers that who have joined in as well. So for your information sake, the LLMs are the logic which are going to, generate an answer depending on what information you have been feeding them. It actually learns and then generates the information on the basis of that. So that is the major difference between a predictive and a generative AI. So when we spoke about the wave 1 of predictive AI, we got to see a lot of these capabilities coming in where, we had these ways to predict the opportunity scoring. Like for example, as a sales rep, if I'm creating an opportunity and I want to understand what would be happening with this opportunity, whether I'll win this or am I going to lose this deal, right? So at that time you could actually use the Einstein opportunity scoring. You could use the opportunity, the Einstein lead scoring, to understand better about a particular information based on what has happened on that opportunity. But now, with the generative AI coming into the picture, you could create your own models based on that, right? You could understand from external systems. There are multiple systems that your CRM could be talking with, and with the power of data cloud coming into the picture, that is where you could have a unified view of your customer. You could make sure that you are driving a lot of intelligence, a lot of actions based on what is happening on the back end of your system, right? So with the generative AI came the capabilities like the code gen LLM. So how many of you have been like really using the agent force for developers? Earlier it was called as Einstein for developers, if you would have heard of it. And if not, then the latest capability is the agent force for developers. So I know there are many developers who have joined in today. If you have not given it a try, please do go in and make sure that you could, this is a free thing that is available for each and every developer. So make sure that you are able to utilize the capabilities of agent force for developer. What it does, I'll go through that, right? So basically, one is obviously as a developer, you would want to have your Apex class creation. So that is something that you could do easily with Agent Force for Developer. You just have to put in the prompts and you could get the Apex created. Now, one important thing to understand on this is obviously these are all the tools to make sure that your life as a developer could be improved. But at the same time, you need to have the capability and the understanding of how this data set or how this code is actually going to be used in the context of what my customer is asking for, right? So obviously that human in the loop is very important. It's important to understand that. So agent for developer, it just can obviously can create code. Not just that, but at the same time it could create the test classes for you by the basis of just writing a prompt. Another thing that it could do for you is to also understand the code, right? There are many such kind of contexts or challenges that we have seen, right? While you are taking over from some other team, or you're taking from some other vendor, and then you want to understand what has been done in the past. So obviously the documentation of the existing code base, understanding of the existing code base, all of that can be done with the help of AgentForce for developer. So it's very important. If you have not given it a try, please do go ahead. And it's free, so it is available for you as a VS Code extension, and you can download that and then get going with that. So with these wave 2 of generative AI came in the code gen LLM, and that's the LLM which is empowering the agent force for developer. So now agent force for developer, I think, has got a code gen LLM version 2, which is a revised and an advanced version of it. So obviously all these additional capabilities have come in now, so go ahead and try those if you haven't. Another thing that came in as part of all this evolution was the sales GPT, the service GPT, Slack GPT, right? So what it meant was, ideally you are able to focus on the work that you are supposed to do, right? Being a sales rep, I don't really want to do a lot of spending my time in understanding or doing a crunching of data. So that is where the GPT comes very handy to me. The sales GPT comes very handy to me. Similarly, as a service rep, I want to understand what is this call coming in for, what are the kind of cases that are getting created, right? I should be able to kind of quickly create a case automatically by just understanding the context of the problem that the user has. So all of these things are coming up as part of the generative AI capabilities that Salesforce has been giving. And I'll talk through more when we speak about user focused editions of AgentForce and the generative AI. There's one more thing, this XGen sales LLMs and XLAM LLMs. These are all the LLMs which are coming up newly, introduced by Salesforce, to make sure that the external system actions can be taken up, or if there are any kind of sales related specific operations, that you could utilize these LLMs accordingly. And can again, I wanted it more to be a more conversation based discussion. So Monica, if you would want to
Yes,
open that, I think that will be also
that's
fine.
what I'm thinking. If anyone has any questions, she's here to help you guys start your journey, or maybe make the agent for more powerful for you. I mean, just ask your questions. Don't
Yeah,
hesitate. Just add it in your chat, and then we'll be answering it.
yeah,
She's right now explaining the waves and how you can take benefit of it. Just ask if you have anything. I mean, of course, we don't know everything, so you must have questions in your mind, but
mhm,
don't be hesitant of asking.
yeah.
If you have anything, we can answer it right now. We will not wait till the end of the session. We will answer it on the go.
Yeah, I think that will be nice. If you have any questions, just please put in, or you can even maybe if Monica allows, you can unmute and then quickly ask the question, and we can move
Yes, I
forward.
mean, if they want to, but
Yeah.
they're not asking on the chat. I'm not sure if
Okay.
they will ask on the
Oh, okay. Okay. Sure.
audio.
Sure.
So don't be shy. Just ask your questions.
Yeah.
Be vulnerable here. That's totally fine. We are here to help you. Uh, and share. You can continue your session. I will tell
Sure.
you if there's any question from anyone.
Sure, sure. So now moving on to chatbot versus copilot versus agentforce. I think this is one of the topics that because me as a pre-sales, as a solution person who's talking to all the customers, right? There is a constant question around this, looking at the agentforce screens. Everybody is like, okay, this looks just like chatbot. What is the difference
True.
between an agent force and a chatbot, right? The most important difference between, if you would have earlier seen the experience of chatbot, was the limitation around what kind of things it could do, right? So maybe when you used to create a Einstein chatbot in Salesforce earlier, from a developer standpoint, you used to create the intentions, right? If I say that my broadband is not working, that is one of the issues that maybe a person could ask. So I used to create an intention like not working,
Right.
problem, internet issues, all of these, right? So those are the kind of questions that, or the intentions that you had to put into your chatbot so that it understands what is happening. But now in agent force, you don't have to do really any of that. You just create a topic saying that a topic will be related to any kind of problems coming in for the customer. And in that, you could define your guardrails, you could define what kind of problems that you could come in or could come in. And you don't have to give any kind of intentions. It's going to just understand from the topic, from the context, and from the guardrails that you have defined. So it's going to be a natural language processing. It's going to be a generative capability where, for the first instance, if you are giving it some information, the second instance it will intelligently understand and add on top of that. And while I'm using agent force probably day in and day out right now, that is where we are seeing the kind of advancements that have come in with every version that is being upgraded right now. And as you all must be knowing, that agent force is powered by the Atlas reasoning engine. That is where all of this information, the data crunching, the lookups, the detailing, the kind of toxicity detection, all of this is happening to your Einstein trust layer. That will make sure that none of the information which is not supposed to go out to your customer will not go, right? So that the major difference between the chatbot and the agent force is the kind of intelligence that it brings in to understand the context, helps you with the action that needs to be taken. Again, on chatbot, earlier chatbots, if you had to do any kind of actions, it was a huge task. Any kind of revisions of those chatbot versions was a huge task. Now, with a chatbot and agent force in the picture, where does Copilot fit in, right? So Copilot is more to do with your internal users. So when I speak from a context of being a sales rep or a service rep, or even as a user, as an IT user of a system, right? So in case if I want to just understand my existing record, right, saying that what happens to this account, what is the details around this account, if you can give me a summarization, or if you can just send an email for me. So all of these are the internal operations that your users would want to do. So that is going to be the Copilot. Versus agent force is something that you could deploy to any of the channels. The channels could be your chat channels, your websites, it could be your other applications. So basically it's very easy to be deployed again. That's another good part of agent force, right? So now, obviously, chatbot, copilot, agent force, they're not the same. And we have discussed about these points, that the action driven decision making is what agent force is really good at. Obviously, at the back end, you have to create either the prompts, you could create either the flows or the apex classes. You could use any of these strong capabilities of Salesforce platform to power your agent force. Now, and that is where you are moving from a predefined set of operations to an open set of operations, right? You could, obviously, there are ways, or there are kind of uh, things that you would see that maybe in your flow or in your action set you have not defined something, right? But then agent force now is intelligent enough to even route and understand what are the uh, pretty relatable things or the action could do. So that is something that is the intelligence brought in now. It is not the coding that we are doing, right?
Right, right.
uh, Sorry, Monica,
No,
anything?
no, no, nothing. Shreya,
uh,
actually, we have some questions. I just wanted
sure,
to take these up before you move to the next slide.
sure.
We have one question from Leher. I think she's a beginner. She's saying, I'm a beginner in Salesforce and Trailhead and have completed some modules. I want to advance my learning, but I'm not sure what path to follow next. I mean, this is a generic question
Okay,
for Trailhead and Salesforce and not specific to AI,
sure.
but I think you can guide her as well.
Sure, sure. That's a good question, Lair, and congratulations on starting the journey. I think what is important for anybody to get started on a new technology is to understand the platform, right? So now, if you have already started the journey on Trailhead, I'll strongly suggest that you start going through, obviously, first the admin part. The second being the platform part. I think the platform part is very important because you need to know what I'm speaking right now. For example, if it is apex class,
Hmm.
right, what does that mean? How do you actually make the whole platform more extensible, more usable, and creating a simple code, right? So all of these things are very important. Now, from a con so just to give you a very high level information, the Salesforce system is like, there are, you could highly divide it into two parts. One is a configuration, one is a customization. So when we speak about configuration, that is where you can create your data model, you could create your LWCs, and mind you, understand LWCs again, right? So this is Lightning Web Component. So this is again one of the latest things that is there on the
Mhm.
Salesforce platforms. Understand how all the configuration works, how the data model works, how the hierarchy works, right? So one is the UI part. The second part is the customization part. So for example, if I have to click on a button, do something, right? So how would you achieve that kind of a functionality? For that, you need to understand how the action invocation could work. What are the various ways through which you could invoke that action? You could have your formulas within the system. You could have your flows within the system. So I would suggest understand the LWCs, understand the Apex, and understand the flows. I think these are very, very important for you to get started on this journey. And if you want to get into AI as well, again, on AI as well, there are few capabilities that you need to understand. One is obviously prompt engineering. Again, it sounds like a very difficult and a challenging task, but once you start writing your prompts and you see the results, right, of those prompts, that is where you can start redefining or making sure that your prompt is understood better. So again, that takes a little bit of time to do it for yourself, and then with the experience you will get better. So on AI part as well, all of this is dependent on, at the back end, these flows, Apex and LWCs. So obviously start with the basics first.
True. Thank you, Shreya. We have another question from Raj. He says,
Okay.
one second. Hey, Shreya, thanks for the learning opportunity. Can you share us the link to resource where we can access AgentForce for Developer org?
Sure, sure. So what I'll do is, maybe after this, Monica, as can we just send out an email to all the
Yes,
attendees
yes, we do.
accordingly? Okay, okay. So I'll share that link
Sure.
as well, so that you can start getting. And trust me, we have done this kind of a demo to many of our customers by actually running the Agent Force for Developer for their own existing code base,
Hmm.
and around 30 to 40% is the efficiency gain for any of the developer, obviously when you understand how to write the prompt correctly for that, right? So but it is going to be a game changer, so for sure go ahead and try that. Okay,
Thank
any other
you.
question?
Yes, we have another question. I'm not
Sure,
sure if you want to take it now or later, but I will just read it out.
sure.
Can you share a real world example of how these advancements have helped streamline customer service workflows? Like a
Sure,
real life example of maybe what you have experienced and how you have achieved it.
sure. So obviously, while I speak with the industry specific context, I'll go through it, but then just to answer this right now, uh, there are, for service scenarios, right, like for the customer care scenarios, there are different industries through which you can achieve, or maybe every industry would have its own specific use cases. So if I just typically speak about a customer care industry, wherein you as a customer care agent need to make sure that you are answering the calls quickly, you are able to respond to the cases quickly, you're able to action the cases quickly and close the cases quickly, right? So all of these things you could actually, I think what we have seen from an efficiency gain perspective is around 60 to 70% is where our customers are seeing an improvement. And this agent force for the cases, or for the customer care side of things, is very, very powerful. Because one thing is obviously the knowledge based lookup, right? Again, uh, creating cases on the basis of or on the go, on the basis of just the information that is coming to you. So just imagine a customer care person trying to understand what the issue was, what could be the type of the case, what could be the subtype of the case, or trying to map it, or create a rule to basically make sure that the case is assigned correctly, right? All of this, now you don't really need a customer care rep to be doing it. You would just need that person to kind of validate whether the agent force has created things correctly. How cool is that when somebody is actually doing all that work for you, and you are ideally just making sure that validation part is done correctly, right? So around 60 to 70% is the efficiency gain for the customer care reps. So I hope that answers. If not, then obviously when we will go into the more detailed discussions, we can obviously take up a question again. But yeah, this is for the customer care is the one of the best agent force use cases that I've seen so far.
Thank you, Shreya, for explaining it. We can go
Thank
ahead
you.
with the presentation. I think we don't have any more questions for now. If
Great.
anyone has any questions, please write it down in the chat and we'll take it.
Great. Yeah, thank you. So now we spoke a lot about different user groups. I've been speaking about sales, I've been speaking about service, I've been speaking about the internal IT teams, which is the project team, right? And the next one is the marketing. So majorly when you speak about an organization, these are the teams, and obviously there are internal teams that could come into the picture as well, right? Which could be the finance team, which could be the approvals team, it could be your quoting teams, it could be your pricing teams, right? So many teams could be there in at the background who are working. But for the context of this discussion right now, let's stick to these four major teams, which is the sales team. So now, as a sales rep, obviously we understand that they want to close the deals faster. There is a new advancement. Now let's talk about the advancements on the Salesforce, on the sales side of AgentForce, right? So there is an advancement which has come in around the SDR capabilities, or around the sales coach. So, and I actually gave it a try, and it's pretty good. So what happens is, as a sales rep, when I'm speaking to a customer trying to close a particular deal, I would want to practice my pitch. I would want to understand whether what the customer is looking for, I'm able to answer that within that pitch presentation or no, right? So, what the Salesforce sales coach does, the Agent Force sales coach does, is it actually takes up like a 5 minutes of your recording. It understands your tonality, how you're talking to your customer, what kind of points you have tried to cover in your pitch, and what could be done better. So these are the kind of advancements now that we are seeing on the latest capabilities of AgentForce. Earlier, as part of AgentForce, what you used to do was obviously send emails automatically to your customer, understand the opportunity summarization, understand about the account customer 360. Right. So all of these capabilities are already there as part of AgentForce. And what you can do better is these kind of SDR capabilities, which is the sales development representative capabilities, understanding your customer, sending out emails, doing continuous follow-ups to make sure that your deal is getting closed with a positive outcome, right? And ultimately the sales coach, to make sure that you are practicing, the AI is able to suggest what you could have done better. So this is going to be definitely helpful for the sales people coming into the picture. Now, from a marketing standpoint, right? So, I'm not sure how many of you are actually working on Marketing Cloud right now, but if you are, then please go ahead and try the capabilities of automated segment creation, for example, with the Agent Force. Obviously, the previous versions of Agent Force had something called as the send time optimization, for example, right? So, what as a marketing person I would want to understand is to understand my customer better. What is the time at which I generally should be contacting my customer, so that that customer can respond quickly to me? What kind of promotions should I send them? What kind of segmentation would work? So for example, if I am only interested in some kind of good watches, right? So then in that case, as a brand, I would want to send out some notification to this particular customer depending on the brand that it likes, or the kind of products that I'm interested in, right? So all those kind of things are coming up as part of the marketing agent force. So as part of agent force, you could create automated marketing segments, you could create automated beautiful notifications going out to the customer. All of that can be done just within few minutes by writing some prompts. So that's the power of AI that we are seeing right now. Again, on the service side, there are many such kind of usages that you could see. one thing I spoke about, and if you talk about a real world scenario, not everyone maintains all their knowledge article or knowledge management within Salesforce, right? That is one of the topmost questions that I've been getting from my customers as well when I'm talking about the case AI or about the service AI, right? Their question is, why would we want to use Salesforce AgentForce when we already have our own LLMs, or when we already have our own external systems which have a knowledge management within that? And that's a fair question, right? We obviously don't want to, or we can't really influence everyone using Salesforce for each of their requirement. Ideally, if it is the external system, now is the time that you could actually utilize the power of getting data cloud, getting the model builder, getting the rack capabilities. All of these capabilities now can be integrated with your external systems to be able to feed in the information to your agent force actions. So this is what is going to happen now going forward. And many of these, I think if you have been following a lot around what is happening on data cloud updates as well, I think you would know that there are now private connectors that have come in to the picture. There are different kind of connectors from data cloud to your different external systems. The external systems could be your Snowflake, your AWS, it could be your Google Vertex, it could be your Box, it could be Asana, all of those other systems. I think 200 plus connections are there now. So what that means is you necessarily do not need to have a lot of information coming in only from the Salesforce perspective, but now you could actually work on the information that is residing outside, but you are creating intelligence and actions based on the agent force along with the LLMs that are being provided. You could use the external LLMs, you could create your own LLMs as well. We call it as a bring your own LLM, or you could utilize the LLMs which are present within Salesforce to make sure that these actions are taken up proactively and correctly. I hope that answers around the service part of things.
Yes, Shreya. Can we take one question
Sure, sure,
before we move forward?
sure.
Okay, so the question is from Vinayak. He says, "Do customer need to pay for Agent Force to get it for Sandbox?"
For the sandbox, what you could do right now, if you just want to try it out, uh, for you as a developer, you can use the SDO if you're a partner with Salesforce, if your
Hmm.
company is a partner. But if you're talking about customer, then yes, there is a separate licensing SKU for that, which is the Einstein One Platform licensing that you would want to get. And it could be for sales, it could be for service. And now I think going forward, they will have for industries as well. So it will be a separate licensing part. One important thing, and I think I have covered it in the next slide,
Hmm.
which is the latest announcement that has happened, right? Could be that you have your data cloud and agent force in your developer orgs for free. So that's the greatest announcement. I think that is really good
Yes, that is true.
free uh, capability that you have been given now, to make sure that you understand, each one of us as a developer, as a consultant, as an architect, understand the power of agent force, and that you could do by just signing up to that developer org.
Okay, we have one more similar question from Raj. He says, "Do we have a new version of Marketing Cloud that's enabled with Agent Force, or is it just an enterprise edition with additional Einstein features?"
Okay, so for marketing cloud, ideally, because right now it's not on core, right? So a lot of these capabilities are kind of restricted, and we do not have a free access to that as of now. But I think on the SDO part of things, you still have access on marketing cloud. You can still get that. And I think for the scratch orgs also, it works. The marketing agent force.
Okay, I think Raj, that's the answer for your question. I hope you're clear on that. If you have any other questions, you can ping it in the chat. Shreya, we can move forward.
Sure. So now we spoke about the project teams. I spoke about the agent force for developer as an extension that you could use. Other good things are coming up, which are around agent force for flows. Again, this is also I think it is free, because on the SDOs I have tried and it is free. Obviously on SDO everything is available. So if you have not given it a try, please do create your own SDO org and check how easily you could create your flows, your Salesforce flows. I think the first question somebody was asking about, how do I proceed in my journey, right? So, and I told them that Salesforce flows is something that you need to really understand. So now with the AI, you could actually create Salesforce flows automatically, doing the job that you were supposed to do, right? So these are the kind of very helpful features that you all as a developer should be really looking forward to and utilizing the capabilities for. Another thing is Einstein for formulas. Again, that is, you can create your prompt, it would create the formula field for you automatically. You could give it a try, you could test it out and see how it works. So these are the kind of new capabilities that are all available, free of cost for you to give it a try. I think Einstein for Flow is right now in, now it is a GA. So yes, you should be able to even utilize it for your regular work. Okay, so these are the kind of capabilities that I wanted to speak. Now I want to move a little bit to the industries part of things. When we speak about industries, not sure how many of you are working on the Salesforce industries capabilities, right? So when I say industries, it could be your telecom industry, it could be your healthcare industry, retail, BFSI, it could be education, right? All of these are the different kind of industries. And if you would have heard of Velocity. Velocity was one of the providers earlier, which got merged into Salesforce now, and they have created vertical industry based solutions for each of these industries. So when we speak about a BFSI industry, right, what that means is, like, for example, banks or the financial institutions. What do they really want to understand? For example, if a person has been using a credit card, and that credit card, maybe that person is not paying the bill very frequently. Obviously, the person gets overdue charges, overdraft charges, all of that, right? But then what is the next time I would see these kind of things coming up on this particular profile, or whether to blacklist a particular profile, or there is a way that this card is not being used for the right transactions, right? So all of these are the kind of, or maybe if it is a fraudulent case, right? So all of these are kind of the use cases that AI could help you with. And AI for banking industries is one of the topmost use cases at this point of time. Second thing, if I speak about telecom industry, right? So if I am, suppose, Geo, I want to know what is the way I can retain this customer. What kind of plans that I could offer to this customer. If I see my competitor having a lot of more customer base than me, how can I make sure that I could give a personalized service to the customer so that the churn reduces, right? So all of these are the kind of capabilities or the use cases of AI for an industry. If I speak about healthcare, in healthcare, if there is a person who needs some kind of special attention, then can I make sure that AI reminds that person that you need to have your follow up done on this time, your medication is due for this time, I have seen a change in the pattern of how you have been sleeping, and I think you need to go and consult a doctor. So these are some of the kind of generative AI capabilities and predictive AI capabilities that you could put in for a healthcare system. If I speak about retail, I think retail, every one of us would understand, right? Obviously, I want to get the best customer service. I want to make sure that whenever I'm going for a shopping, I get some nice personalized discounts. I should be told about what are the new launches that are coming in based on the things that I am interested in. I just want to see those kind of promotions being sent to me. So all of these are the industry specific use cases and applicability of AI for those kind of use cases. Any questions around this?
Let me check if we have any new questions.
Yeah.
We have one question from Ashutosh. He says, how can we use agent on CRM dashboard?
Okay, that's a good question. So we have got, I think here probably I did not speak about the Tableau part of things. Uh, there's one thing that has come up again is around the Tableau GPT. Another thing on the dashboard, reporting, the analytics part of things, you could have your own models created, right? That anyway, as part of the predictive AI, you were earlier doing it as well. But now, with the LLM capabilities, that is where you could have a more intelligent way of creating your own dashboards and analytics. I think the Tableau GPT again is GA, so obviously you can go ahead and explore more about that as well. But yes, all these capabilities, agent force capabilities, are now put in each of these clouds now, and the capabilities.
Okay, perfect. We have another question from Raj. He says, is Agent Force for Flows a subset of Agent Flows for developers?
No, it is a different one. It is the agent force for developer is a free thing. Agent force for flows is I'm not sure whether it is tied to a license, but on the SDO you could give it a try. It's a separate one.
Okay. Ashutosh is saying that he was actually asking for CRM analytics. I mean, the
Mhm.
question was, how can we use agent on CRM analytics dashboard?
Correct. So that for that is where you need to create your own models. That is where and I think that capability is also available now. You could create your own predictive and generative LLM based models for those analytics parts. But then again, that's a licensed one, so you will have to
Okay.
check how that works. Yeah.
Okay, I hope this answers your questions, Ashutosh. If you have any doubt, you can, of course, write it down here. Okay, Shreya, we can go ahead.
Okay. So coming on to the very last portion of what I wanted to speak around what's new on Agent Force. Obviously, we spoke about a lot about what kind of new features have come up on Agent Force, how the Atlas reasoning engine has become more and more powerful, right? With every upgrade that's coming in. The third thing that you could actually now see is the headless agent configuration or the connection through the MuleSoft layer. And this is something that we have also done on our end, and it's very, very powerful because what you could do is talk to the other systems. You could have your agent take actions on the other system as well through the MuleSoft connection or through even the LLMs that are being provided specifically for those kind of agent force specific actions. So that's one very good thing that has come up. Obviously, because when we are talking about huge transformation programs, not everything is Salesforce based, right? And that is where the surrounding ecosystem is pretty big, and you would want to connect to that ecosystem. You would want to, maybe for example, if you speak about updating a order status, I don't want to maintain those order fulfillments and the subline items within Salesforce. I want to make sure that the external system that is maintaining all my order data should be fed in properly. And I don't want my internal user or the developer to be doing all that, or maybe a sales rep to be doing all that. I want the agent force to be able to create the order for my system, which is staying outside of Salesforce. That's how, these are the kind of, the real time use cases that you would want to make sure that you explore using agent force. Is there any question, Monica?
No, I don't see any new questions here. If you guys have any questions, we will just wait for 2 minutes, add in your questions, add in your doubts, and we'll be answering all of that. Shreya, this is not the uh, last slide. I have added two more slides. Can you go to the
Yeah, yeah,
next one?
sure. Before that, I just want to quickly touch upon two things.
Okay.
One is we spoke about the free developer edition for Data Cloud and Agent Force.
Hmm.
Please do sign up for that and give it a try if you have not done it so far. Please do that. The second important thing, again, from a TDX perspective, was the Agent Exchange.
Hmm.
Again, this is more or less like your app exchange, right? Where you could see the pre-built solution, you could use them by just paying for them and getting those installed in your system. Similarly, now Agent Exchange has come up, which will make sure that you could see the app solutions which are on Agent Force provided by different companies and for different functionalities. So you could use them quickly as well.
Okay.
So don't wait to get started. I think let's just get started on Agent Force, on AI, and on Salesforce as a whole. So with that, thank you so much. I'll pass it on to Monica now.
So now before we end this session, we have a big announcement for everyone who is available here. Can you go to the next slide, Shreya? So TDX is coming. I'm not sure if everyone is aware about it because this has just been announced 2 days ago. TDS is coming this year in Bangalore. Uh, it was in 2019 that it happened in India, and then after 6 years, we are coming back with TDX. So it is your time to explore and connect. It's your time to become an agent blazer at TDX in Bangalore. Whether you're a developer, admin, architect, or BA, this is an event for you that we all have been waiting for, right? So just get ready to dive into the cutting edge developments that are reshaping the future of software and application development. This will be a 2 days event of immense hands-on learning with more than 250 deep technical sessions. It's a rare opportunity to level up your skills and discover groundbreaking innovations and network with industry leaders who are pushing the boundaries of what's possible, right? Now everyone who will be joining the event will be getting a certification voucher as well, so that is a win-win. And also, if you will register before 31st of March, the amount will be lesser. The ticket amount will be 1999, which is 2000, and then after 31st March it will be 2500, so that's also a discount for you. So I will just strongly ask you to register for this event. This will be a very brainstorming 2 days for your life to understand about TDX and Salesforce. Also, this year they are coming with a AgentForce hackathon as well, where you can actually showcase your AgentForce skill if you're an expert in AgentForce, or maybe if you want to just explore this and get exposure of this new era, you should take part in that hackathon as well. There's no extra charges for that hackathon. It's just that you will buy the ticket for TDX and then you will get access to hackathon as well. The dates of hackathon, if you will go to the next slide, share. Okay, I think you will have to refresh it. Is it
Okay.
possible?
Yeah. Oh no, I have taken a local
Okay,
copy.
no problem, no problem. Just open this one. So the dates of the hackathon is 29th and 30th of April at the same place, and the dates of TDX in Bangalore will be 2nd and 3rd May. I would strongly recommend to join. Uh, you can join by scanning this QR itself. Otherwise, you can just find it online of the registration link and you will get it easily. I will ask everyone to join, and we can meet there offline and in person, right, Shreya?
That's right. So basically, for those who don't know what is TDX, just to give you a quick information on that, it is the Trailblazer Developer Conference event that's going to happen. It has happened so far only in the US, and we are pretty lucky now that it's going to be global, right? So what that means is it's going to happen in Bangalore now. And I would really strongly suggest, as Monica mentioned, it's a good way of starting your journey, including on Agent Force, not just Agent Force, but on whatever is happening around Salesforce,
True.
right? So please go ahead, register yourselves. And I think it is very important that we all invest in our own learning. So this is very important. So don't think about the kind of price associated to it. The kind of experience that you will get is going to be very different. It's going to be a game changing. So please do make sure that you register yourselves and be there. And obviously, we'll see you over there. And when you go to the registration link, just off track, you can see my photograph as well.
Oh,
So,
yes, yes.
yeah. So now I'm on the TDX Bengaluru website as well. So obviously, please do go ahead and register. And I think we'll meet you over there. Hackathon again will be a very good experience if you all are already working on some use cases on
Hmm.
Agent Force. Okay, with that said, I think we are pretty much on time. Just 5 more in case if we have any further questions.
If anybody has any questions, I see two questions. One is from Raj. Just curious to know, are these pre-built agents trained over domain-specific knowledge, or do they use subset of available data? And if it is, what duration and amount of data do we need for the agent to get trained for?
That's a very good question, actually, Raj. From my experience, if I speak about the domain specific agents, currently, if you see, there are few agents that are live around finance domain, on the financial industries. The second one is around the billing domain. Now, what I frankly understand from my own perspective, these are not very specific to the domain. These are specific to the data set, right? Because and when we create an agent, you could make it domain specific on the basis of the topic that it will delve into, or the topic that you will try to understand and act upon. So that's the kind of information that you could give to the agent, and those are pre-built on that. Now, what how much amount of information that it would need is all within your Salesforce data model, or within the external system that it is going to refer to, and it actually improves at every prompt. So that's a good thing. That's why it is generative. So now I don't have a data information as to how much it is getting trained on, because it, frankly speaking, doesn't matter, because it is actually speaking to your own org, and for every org there is a data set which is specific to your customer, specific to your own org. So it's not getting trained on, it's not like a chat gpt wherein you are feeding it information and the next time it will speak to you on that information. Because in your enterprise it, and there is I think, Monica, there are many such topics when I'm speaking this right now. So there are topics around like enterprise it versus the consumer side of it, right?
Hmm.
So these are all different kind of informations that every organization would need, and you would deal with the data which is specific to that org. So you cannot really train it on the basis of or there is no, not a preset information that has been fed. It is all going to be getting information from your own org. I hope that helps, Raj.
Raj, I hope that answers your question. Okay, he says, I asked this question as in Marketing Cloud, we need at least 90 days of data for Einstein features to be used accurately.
Okay, so that if it is in terms of again, if you would have used the Einstein capabilities earlier, in case if you are trying to do a lead scoring or an opportunity scoring, right?
Hmm.
What it used to do is it minimum needs, I think, 2,000 records on the opportunity. Similarly, on the leads, you need to have those many records. But now, because this was predictive earlier, you used to have all that data set requirement. Now, with this kind of generative capability, you're already looking up the information which is within your org. So you would not need a specific time duration on that. It would start understanding based on the actions that you are taking, or the based on the flows that you have written, right? So it will not really. It's going to be runtime basically. A lookup is going to be runtime.
Okay, I hope you get the answer, Raj. We have another question. I have answered him, but I would like if you want to add something. Vinayak has asked, is TDX is something like Dreamforce event?
I would say yes and no. Uh, Basically, TDX is more focused on, if you are a developer, if you are an architect, if you're a consultant who wants to have the real world information, hands on knowledge on Salesforce platform and ecosystem, then TDX is the place to be, right? Dreamforce covers a lot of customers as well, right? So what happens is Dreamforce is more about announcing and letting the world know, letting the partner ecosystem, letting the customer ecosystem know that what is happening in the Salesforce world. But TDX is where you will actually be experiencing it hands on. So that's the difference.
That's perfectly answered. Do we have any other questions, uh, everyone? Otherwise, we'll just wrap it up. We are on time, Shreya.
Perfect. Perfect. So thank you so much all for listening in. I'm not sure why am I not able to see you all. But I think, Monica, is it possible that we take like a photograph with all?
If everyone starts their video, then we can, of course. Let
If
me
they are
just.
interested, we could do
If
that.
you guys are interested, let's just write it in the chat, and I will give you permission to turn on your video. I'm not sure if I can. One second.
But I think it was a very good participation, guys. I
Yes,
think thank
yes,
you very much. Very good questions, and I hope I was able to answer them.
yes. You answered beautifully, Shreya.
Thank you.
I also don't see the option to let them turn on their video. Um, I don't think so. This is possible right now. Then
Okay, no problem. I think, but thank you very much all for joining. Really
thank you
appreciate
so
you all
much.
taking
Thank you
time.
so much
Yeah,
for your knowledge and for sharing everything that you have. I know you have a lot more.
yeah,
We'll catch you again for our group. But thank
sure.
you so much for this insightful session. Thank you, everyone who has joined. Thank you so much for the conversation that we had, the questions and the doubt. I hope we were able to answer your questions. And thank you, Shreya. Thank you
Yeah,
for joining in.
thank you very much, Monica. Thank you for
Thank you.
the
I will just wrap
opportunity,
it up.
and thanks a lot.
For everyone who wants the recording of this session, it will be available on the sessions page by tomorrow, or you can go to my YouTube channel and find the recording there as well. I will just quickly add the channel's URL here in the chat so it is easier for you to just jump onto that. Uh, okay, I have pasted it in the chat. You can check it out there as well. Otherwise, it will be on the link of the event by tomorrow. Thank you so much again for joining in. Thank you, Shreya. We'll just
Thank you.
wrap it up now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, all.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you for
bye.
joining.